and welcome to Preaching on the Prairie from the Temple of Social Distancing. I am Pastor Mike Klaver from First Presbyterian Church in Morton, Illinois, and we welcome all of you today. As you'll see today, I've got some very special guests here with me. As we met last week, this gentleman over here, this is Mr. Out Fox. Mr. Out Fox is a longtime theologian and has worked with many people over the years. And actually, he is the person they invented outfoxing for. Over here to my right, which would be that side of you, this is my new friend. I just met him. This is Mr. Cat in the Hat. And he will be with us today, and he's going to share with us his new autobiography. But before we begin, well, I guess we don't need to do anything before we begin. I think we can just begin. So with that, let me sort through my pages here, because our teleprompter's down today. Mr. Cat in the Hat is here with us today to go over his new book. It is an autobiography that he wrote himself, and it is called Cat, the Cat in the Hat. So anyway, we welcome them here. Before we start, I'd like to ask them each a couple of questions, maybe just one or two. So let's start with Mr. Out Fox. So Mr. Out Fox, what is your favorite kind of music? Can you hear Mr. Out Fox? Is his microphone down? Mr. Out Fox's microphone's down. Okay, so anyway, okay, if you say it, I can repeat it. Oh, really? Okay. Mr. Out Fox says his favorite kind of music is a foxtrot. Whoever laughed, thank you. And this lovely gentleman over here. No? Okay. Anyway, he said, I asked him what type of music, or what kind of musical instrument do you play? Is his microphone down too? Is my microphone on? Which is interesting, because I don't even have one. Okay. Okay, his microphone is not working. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can tell. Your favorite musical instrument is? Oh, seriously? Okay. His favorite musical instrument, believe it or not, is a sousaphone. Dum. Nothing. Okay, great. All right. Anyway, without further ado, I want to read to you his new autobiography, which just hit the streets about 40 years ago. Anyway, The Cat in the Hat by The Cat in the Hat and his good buddy, Dr. Seuss. As I read this the other day, I can't tell you how much it reminds me of what we're going through right now. Can't go outside, we can't play, we can't have fun. Today it's raining like crazy. Not that that's something new around here this week. But anyway, I just thought that this really reminded me of the times that we're all going through. So this morning, if you're much younger than me and you enjoy this kind of stuff, this was for you. If you're not, well then tune in about 10 minutes and I'll be back talking to you. All right, here we go. Mr. Cat in the Hat, I read this. I thought this was just fascinating. Just fascinating. The sun did not shine. It was too wet to play. So we sat on the house on that cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we two. And I said, how I wish we had something to do. Too wet to go out. Too cold to play ball. So we sat in the house and we did nothing at all. Does that sound familiar? So all we could do was sit. And we did not like it one little bit. Boom. Then something went boom. How that bump made us jump. We looked, then we saw him step in on the mat. We looked and we saw him. It was the cat in the hat. And he said to us, why do you sit there like that? I know it is wet, and the sun is not sunny, but we can have fun, lots of good fun that is funny. I know some good games we could play, said the cat. I know some new tricks, said the cat in the hat. A lot of good tricks. I'll show them to you. Your mother and I will not mind at all if I do. Then Sally and I did not know what to say. Our mother was out of the house for the day. But our fish said, "No, no, make that cat go away." Tell that cat in the hat you do not want to play. You do not want to play. He should not be here. He should not be about. He should not be here when your mother is out. Now, have no fear, said the cat. My tricks are not bad, said the cat in the hat. Why, we can have lots of fun, if you wish, with a game that I call Up, Up, Up with the Fish. Put me down, said the fish, this is no fun at all. Put me down, said the fish, I do not wish to fall. Have no fear, said the cat, I will not let you fall. I will hold you up high as I stand on a ball, with a book in one hand and a cup on my hat. But that is not all I can do, said the cat. Look at me now, said the cat, with a cup and a cake on top of my hat. I can hold up 2 books. I can hold up the fish and a little toy ship and some milk on a dish. And look, I can hop up and down on the ball, but that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. Look at me now. It is fun to have fun, but you have to know how. I can hold up the cup and the milk and the cake. I can hold up these books and the fish on a rake. I can hold the toy ship and a little toy man, and look, with my tail, I can hold a red fan. I can fan with the fan as I hop on the ball, but that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. That is what the cat said, and then he fell on his head. He came down with a bump. From there, up on the ball, and Sally and I, we saw all the things fall. And our fish came down too. He fell into a pot. He said, do I like this? No, I do not. This is not a good game, said our fish as he lit. No, I do not like it one little bit. Now, look what you did, said the fish to the cat. Now, look at this house. Look at this. Look at that. You sank our toy ship, sank it deep into the cake. You shook up our house and you bent our new rake. You should not be here when our mother is out. You get out of this house, said the fish in the pot. But I like to be here. Oh, I like it a lot, said the cat in the hat to the fish in the pot. I will not go away, I do not wish to go. And so, said the cat in the hat, so, I will show you another good game that I know. And then he ran out. And then, fast as a fox, the cat in the hat came back with a box. A big red wood box. It was shut with a hook. Now look at this trick, said the cat. Take a look. Then he got up on top with the tip of his hat. I call this game fun in a box, said the cat. In this box are 2 things. I will show you to you now. You will like these 2 things, said the cat with a bow. I will pick up the hook. You will see something new. 2 things I call them, thing 1 and thing 2. These things will not bite you. They want to have fun. Then out of the box came thing 2 and thing 1. And they ran to us fast. They said, how do you do? Would you like to shake hands with thing 1 and thing 2? And Sally and I did not know what to do. So we had to shake hands with thing 1 and thing 2. We shook their 2 hands, but our fish said, no, these things should not be in this house. Make them go. They should not be here when your mother is out. Put them out, said the fish in the pot. Have no fear, little fish, said the cat in the hat. These things are good things. And I gave them a pat. They are tame, oh, so tame. They like to fly kites, said the cat in the hat. No, not in the house, said the fish in the pot. They should not fly kites in a house. They should not. Oh, the things they will bump. Oh, the things they will hit. Oh, I do not like it one little bit. Then Sally and I saw them run down the hall. We saw those 2 things bump their kites on the wall. Bump, 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 bump. Down the hall, down the wall. Thing 2 and thing 1, they ran up, they ran down. On the string of one kite, we saw mother's new gown. Her gown with the dots that are pink, red, and white. Then we saw one kite bump on the head of her bed. Then those things ran about, with big bumps, jumps, and kicks, and with hops and big thumps and all kinds of bad tricks. And I said, I do not like the way that they play. If mother could see this, oh, what would she say? Then our fish said, look, look. And our fish shook with fear. Your mother is on her way home, do you hear? Oh, what will she do to us? What will she say? Oh, she will not like it to find us this way. Do something fast, said the fish. Do you hear? I saw her, your mother is near. So as fast as you can, think of something to do. You will have to get rid of thing 1 and thing 2. So as fast as I could, I went after my net, and I said, with my net, I can get them, I bet. I bet with my net, I can get those things yet. Then I let down my net. It came down with a plop, and I had them at last. Those 2 things had to stop. Then I said to the cat, now you do as I say. You pack up those things and you take them away. Oh dear, said the cat, you did not like our game. Oh dear, what a shame, what a shame, what a shame. Then he shut up the things in the box with a hook, and the cat went away with a sad kind of look. That is good, said the fish, he has gone away. Yes, but your mother will come, she will find this big mess. And this mess is so big and so deep and so tall, we cannot pick it up. There is no way at all. And then, who was back in the house? It was why, the cat. Have no fears of this mess, said the cat in the hat. I always pick up all my playthings, and so I will show you another good trick that I know. And then we saw him pick up all the things that were down. He picked up the cake, he picked up the rake and the gown and the milk and the strings and the books and the dish and the fan and the cup and the ship and the fish. And he put them away. Then he said, that is that. And then he was gone with the tip of his cap. Then our mother came in. She did. And said to us too, did you have any fun? Tell me, what did you do? And Sally and I didn't know what to say. Should we tell her the things that went on there that day? Should we tell her about it? Now what should we do? Well, what would you do if your mother asked you? The Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss and The Cat in the Hat, an autobiography. I really thought that was a fun little book for the times that we're going through right now when we're looking for things to do. And if you are not fortunate enough to have a cat in a hat and a fox, what are you doing with your time? Well, there's a lot of things that we can do with our time. And one of the things that we find ourselves doing right now, I know I find myself doing right now, is asking why questions. So I turned to the book that I usually turn to when I don't have any other answers, and went through the Bible, and I looked for the perfect book that has a lot of why questions in it. And I found the book of Job, which is actually one of my favorites. So I want to read to you a little bit from the book of Job this morning. This is called Job's First Test. Day 1, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? Satan answered the Lord, from roaming through the earth and going back and forth in it. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, and a man who fears God and shuns evil. Does Job fear God for nothing? Satan replied, have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? Have you blessed the work of his hands so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land? But stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. The Lord said to Satan, very well then, everything he has is in your hands. but on the man himself do not lay a finger. And then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord one day when Job's sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, and attacked and carried them off. They put them to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the fire of God fell from the sky and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels and carried them off. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. While he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them, and they are dead. And I am the only one who has escaped to tell you. At this, Job got up and tore his robe and shaved his head. And then he fell to the ground in worship and said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. So Job had it right. That was what I would call a really tough day. We've had tough days lately. We've had a lot of tough days. We will continue to have tough days. I know there's many of you that said, I need to get back to work. You know what? You're right. People do need to get back to work. The flip side of that is people still need to be careful. Trust me when I say I understand the need to get back to work. But also trust me when I say I don't know who to believe. I don't know which side is right. I don't know if there is a side that is right. This is not black and white. The Bible, however, sometimes is black and white, but it is so subject to interpretation. So let me share with you this phrase or passage from the book of John, the Gospel of John. Then the Jews led Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanness, the Jews did not enter the palace. They wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, what charges are you bringing against this man? If he were not a criminal, they replied, we would not have handed him over to you. Pilate then said, take him yourselves and judge him by your own law. But we have no right to execute anyone, the Jews objected. This happened so the words Jesus had spoken indicated the kind of death he was going to die, and it would be fulfilled. Pilate then went back inside the palace and summoned Jesus and asked him, are you the king of the Jews? Is that your own idea, Jesus asked, or did others talk to you about me? Am I a Jew? Pilate replied. It was your people and your chief priests who handed you over to me. What is it you have done? Jesus said, my kingdom is not of the world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jews. But now my kingdom is from another place. You are a king then, said Pilate. Jesus answered, you are right in saying I am a king. In fact, for this reason I was born, and for this I came into the world to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me. Catch this. What is truth? Pilate asked. And with this he went out again to the Jews and said, I find no basis for a charge against him. What is truth? I really remember in A Few Good Men, the movie with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. The confrontation in the courtroom where Jack Nicholson is testifying and Tom Cruise is pounding on him, is just pounding on him. And Tom Cruise says, I want the truth. And Jack Nicholson in his Jack Nicholson typical voice goes, you can't handle the truth. And now we're sitting here today going, what is the truth? What is the truth? So, ever notice when calamity strikes, we all ask the question, why? Guess what? Jesus asked the question, why? My God, why have you forsaken me? why? Now, as we look these things over, the book of Job has 300 questions in it. If you think I'm kidding, I want you, your homework this week is to go to the book of Job. It's not Job, it's Job. Go to the book of Job and start counting the questions. When you get to 300, you may stop. And I've got another little homework project for you later on. So, as we look at things that have certain perspective, we only see our perspective. I'm guilty of that. I am very guilty of only seeing my perspective. But I want to share with you the parable of the coin. This is a Buffalo nickel. This is a 1913 Buffalo nickel. See how big they were in 1913? The value of these have completely shrunk. You used to be able to go to the store and buy a candy bar with this nickel that was the size of a shoebox. Now a nickel's just a little bit bigger than a penny and pretty much worth about as much as a penny. But even this nickel has two sides. Every one of our issues that we face has two sides. For the health and safety of people like me who are fat, who are over 65, who have lung and health issues, I want you to stay at home and stay with a mask on. For you that have to get to work, you need to go to work. I hope you can get to work soon. You know why? Because I need my Social Security. Okay? And I'm not getting my well, I still get my Social Security because we're spending money we don't have. Anyway, that's political. I need to stay away from that. I'm getting the evil eye. Okay, anyway, two sides to every issue. So what do? We look for common ground. You know where the common ground is on this? Right here in the middle, and it ain't very big. But this is the common ground that we face. These are the things that we have to look for in our life. Perspective. So if I ask you, is it possible to stack 6 nails on top of one nail? What are your thoughts? Huh? What are your thoughts? Is it possible? Is it possible? Bernie says it's possible. Helen, do you think it's possible? No. That was interesting. Okay, let me show you how it's done. Okay? Because when I've done this with other people, they immediately go like this. And they go, you have to magnetize it. No. Okay? So watch closely. Watch very carefully. 1. Let me do it this way. I don't know if this is going to work on a cardboard box or not. I will always think it should have. See? You didn't think I could do it, did you? Bernie did. Thank you, Bernie. I probably showed Bernie this trick before. There are 6 nails balanced on the head of 1. This is sometimes how we all feel. One person is doing the work of 6. Everybody keeps jumping up and looking at the camera, so I'm guessing I'm out of time. Keep going? Okay. All right, so with that, one more thing. I'm going to ask my 2 friends here today, who is Frederick Muhlenberg? Who is Frederick Muhlenberg? Do either of you know? No? My staff doesn't know who Frederick Muhlenberg is either. Well, let me tell you a little secret about Frederick. First of all, I'm going to take this hat off because what little hair I have is getting really sweaty. Oops. So, Frederick Muhlenberg was the first U.S. House of Representatives Speaker of the House. 1789. Frederick said, Mike, I'd like to do you a favor. I would like to send you a personalized copy of the Constitution. And so he did. Handwritten, by the way. And do you know what the first 3 words of the Constitution are in the preamble? We the people. We the people. It's not me the people. It's not you the people. It's we the people. So for those of you who knew who Frederick Muhlenberg was, congratulations. It is we. This is the time when we need to be together. Not in the same space, but we need to be together. Our prayer list continues with some joys and concerns. There's Galen, who continues to deal with cancer, and Sharon, which is not spelled the regular way, which is why I'm having trouble with it, on the death of her husband last year. Patricia, who is dealing with cancer. Our good friend and member of Session, Andy, who is home after having had a triple bypass this week. We pray for Lois and Gary from our congregation and Pete Velosio from our congregation. And we also have a celebration this morning, and that's Kent and Cindy Wormnest, who I believe are celebrating their 45th wedding anniversary. 45, Bertie? How many? 45?
Could be.
Kent and Cindy? Yeah, okay. So we'd like to congratulate them. You know, there are a lot of things that we're going through right now, and we will get through them. But we will get through them with a significant amount of love and care for one another as we continue to deal with this. I don't have all the answers. There's days I don't have any of the answers. There are days I don't have the answers even when I look them up in a book or use Siri. But I would like to leave you with one thing today that I hope you will remember throughout the rest of the week. And it's this. 1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Boom, boom, boom. 1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your cars today. You'll remember that all week, thanks to me. I could have given you a scripture to remember, but quite frankly, you won't remember it to the end of the day. So there you go. There's your memory thing for today. As we go about our business, remember that you are filled with grace and redemption. Each of us are, no matter which side of that coin we are on. We're all on that same coin. So with that, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent, one from the other. Go in peace. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and forever. Amen.